Murray, I hear you've been working on something big.
Certainly have, something very important.
Let me guess. Something mid-size?
Perhaps.
Fusion.
Perhaps. And I think we've done a pretty good job of it, but I'd like to know what you think.
Wow! This is a mid-size car?
This is next generation Fusion, yes.
This looks like a luxury car.
Well, we'd like to hear that, but again, this is the next Ford Fusion, and we really think that people will appreciate the appeal of it. So let me show you around. Excuse me.
Got all sorts of toys around here. Amazing place. Turntables, I love when cars
actually
move
standing
around.
still. It's the rest of the world that's come around.
And that's the proper world the car guys can live in.
One of the important factors when we started designing this was actually one of the things we talk about is silhouette innovation. And we really wanted this car to look very sporty, very coupe-like, but at the same time having space for 5 adults inside. So that's really the challenge. I mean, to design a 5-seater family sedan that looks really sporty.
Someone my height sit in the back?
Yeah. It's got very competitive headroom in the back.
Wow. So I can sit there and see if I can do this. Wow, there is a lot of room back here.
Yeah, so it's actually really quite disguised in terms of the sportiness of the car. At the same time, it's also a great sized trunk in the vehicle too. So although it looks like a coupe or a hatchback, it's actually a 3-box, a sedan, normal sedan vehicle.
Was this done here in Dearborn?
Yeah, this was done in Dearborn, but in collaboration with all our studios globally, which is how we work these days.
If you think about it, from the last time you did this car, your parameters were kind of set because it shared platforms with the vehicles, and you were at a point where it's the first strong entry in that segment.
Yeah.
Since then, Kia came out with the Optima and the Sonata,
very strong competition
and
out
the
there.
design changed, and now there's beauty in that.
And I think the great thing is that we can see that design generally is really helping to sell cars. So our first very limited brief for this was Jamie said, Design me a drop-dead gorgeous car. So, although it's an easy thing to say, it's sometimes a little bit difficult to do. And I think, as I say, I think we've done a pretty good job. And in terms of this being a sort of full-size, a 5-seater family sedan, I think it's a very effective job of being a very sort of athletic, very sporty-looking vehicle.
So at what point, like how long did this project start?
I think we started this probably about 18 months ago, I think, in Dearborn, and it's been working. We're coming to the culmination now, obviously, when we're going to show it at the...
Is that quicker?
Yeah, we're generally doing projects quite a bit quicker these days through digital innovations and through simultaneous engineering. We're able to get cars to market quick.
So you had the benefit of seeing how the landscape has changed.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. So I mean, and as I say, we know that there's very strong competition out there, really being driven by design as well. Yeah. So that gives us a lot of ammunition to get what we want in design also.
Mid-size, that's a tough segment.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges you had to face to make a car look like this in that segment? I
think what you have to do is get the basics right, and the basics in car design is the proportions, and it's really important in this car to get the proportions right. You know, it's getting the wheelbase. The wheelbase is quite a bit longer than today's Fusion. The roof, getting the roof height right, and getting the overall proportions of the body side, the side, and the language of the body side right. And so it's really to do with getting that what we call the stance, getting the wheels to the corners of the car, making the car really look like it hugs the road. So the stance of this car is very important, and I think it really affects that sort of visual sportiness of the vehicle.
2006 is about when Alan came to town. So how much of the change in the company structure affected really this is I look at this and I'd be shocked to say that's a Ford.
Well, I think obviously Alan put the emphasis back on Ford as the main brand for us to work on. So we've been able to really garner the influence of all our design studios around the world. And as we're designing global products now, we're able to use the studios we have. So we've got a great talent of designers around the world. And I think design has really taken the lead on how to work globally and work as one Ford. And so this has been a really, really important project for us to show how we can work as a team globally.
And what about the interior?
Yeah, the interior again we feel it's very special. It's the interior obviously has to sort of meet the dynamic quality of the exterior as well. So we have this very slightly driver-orientated instrument panel, but at the same time still giving you an open, sort of spacious feel to the interior also. What we wanted to do was give the whole interior again a bit of this visual lightness that we were searching for, which really opens up the space around the customer and the driver. Any specific challenges in designing a car that was going to have so many different platforms, electric, gasoline? Yeah, I think there's always a little bit of a challenge, but the challenge also is doing a global product is meeting all the global regulations and legislation as well, and so that's really one of the big challenges. Let me show you one of my favorite parts of the car. If you don't mind, I'm going to turn it.
Oh, we're going to go for riding the turntable now? Yeah. Oh, I got to stay on for this.
Afraid this is as fast as
Very
it goes.
fast.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Come on, you want a fast-looking car, you got to have a fast turntable, Murray.
If you wait another 5 minutes, it winds up. You know, the mice are still running.
Get a little bit of exercise on this.
Okay. The front of the car really is one of the favourite parts of the car to me. It's starting off with what we call technical graphics, and you know, if you look at a lot of cars today, headlights have got bigger and bigger and bigger, and we sort of said, you know, let's sort of reset the button and sort of bring the lamps down to the smallest we can get them. So we call these sort of laser cut headlamps, very, very narrow, but very highly detailed at the same time. Really nice details in these headlamps with the projector lights and the technology that's put into them, and technology allowing us to get headlamps smaller as well. Then the other thing, of course, is the grille of the car, and what we've done, if you notice on the current Fords up to this point, we've introduced what we call the trapezoidal grille, which has been lowered down in the car. We've lifted that grille up, so it's actually become more prominent, and we feel gives the car a higher premium and a higher value to the car. We've also even taken the Ford badge and put it on the top surface and embedded it into the surface as well, which again has given us the car a little bit more, we think, higher value to the overall quality of the vehicle.
Is it my imagination, or is that logo different?
It's actually a new badge for this car, yes. We've actually inset the chamfer, so it's actually under flush to the body, so it's a nice new detail. Really, this is what we're saying is the new face of Ford. So you'll recognise the technology in this face and the shapes on this as we move forward in next generation of Fords.
It's kind of like your stamp on Ford now.
This is it, yeah.
How long have you been with the company now?
I've been with the company 22 or 23 years, I think, yeah. And this is probably the most exciting time I've been here.
What was the first project you worked on at Ford?
I worked on a project called the Ghia Via back in Italy 20-something years ago. I'd like to show you a bit of the history of the car and how we got to where we are today.
I love history.
I just wanted to show you some of the sketches right at the beginning of the program, and you can see that a lot of them are actually capturing what the car looks like today in terms of the really nice, simple, refined surface language, the overall profile of the car. The face of the car even starting to happen there in all of these sketches, and looking to see how we can change the visual proportions of the vehicle. Even, you notice the location of the badge. We really talked about what we can do to really give this car a real high value look.
How much has this been done alongside, say, what you did with the Focus and the Escape? Because those are bold designs for what they are too.
And I think it's the right kind of boldness for the segment. I think, you know, the Focus and the Escape can be a little bit more cheekier, I think, but this has to be a little bit more sophisticated, and I think that's what we've really managed to do with this car.
Definitely sophisticated, but I think you've moved the marker higher with this design.
Well, we hope that each car we come out is going to be higher and higher every time we do it. So hopefully the next one's even better.